Hi, this is Dr.Urbi.Ghosh, and this is a video tutorial on how to assemble for the report for my diet analysis for this course that's worth 200 points of your grade. So I'm assuming in this tutorial that you've already gone and created a profile, you've done the diet tracking and the activity tracking. It's been 7 days and now you're ready to generate the reports. So one thing to note is that when you generate the reports, there's 14 reports that are generated using the profile data that you've provided. Well, you don't need to include all 14 reports in your write-up. The primary reports that should be included, there are 5 of them, okay? So the first one is the nutritional facts report. The second one is the calorie assessment report, the recommendations report, the comparisons report, and perhaps another one such as my plate or an activity summary report. And the reason is I want to see not only what you're eating and what kind of nutrients you're getting out of the food that you're getting, but also I want to see how much activity you're doing, because that's another part of the equation. So after you've generated your reports, you can print the report or send the report and make it into a PDF file, or just simply cut and paste the report into a Word document. Here's a screenshot of an actual intake versus recommended report. And the key things to remember in this particular report is that you'll have a BMI that's generated. You'll have things like recommended versus how much you actually took in, and then you'll have a percent. And I want you to look through these percentages and tell me the highs and lows, tell me reasons why this is occurring and what the problem areas are. Because you can locate, for example, here in this student has, say, a low vitamin D level, only 77% of the vitamin D is being taken in. That is in comparison to what is recommended. And you can go through and for yourself and look at the problem areas, and then make sure you use this data, these percentages or servings per day, to back up in your discussion section, and where you analyze the data and answer the questions that I asked you to back up what you are saying with your statements. It's very important. This is a science paper that we need to use the data. Moving on, what are the sections that I'm going to be looking for in terms of organization? Well, this is a sample paper that was posted from a student in 2009 who did a pretty good job with the paper in terms of organizing the paper correctly. So you have a title page, then followed by an introduction. What's great about this introduction is this person writes me a roadmap sentence over here telling me that what they're going to be talking about. Now, remember, a paragraph is made out of 3 sentences, so this person needed to put another sentence in there to do it correctly, but then they use nice organization words like first of all and additionally and all that to transition between the different discussions of the different components, such as carbohydrates, fats, proteins, etc. So the introduction needs to be spelled out with a heading, and then after the introduction you should have what we call a procedure. What did you do? Give me a description of, in your own words, what you did. Then you can have the data output. Now this person put my food list in there, but you can say please refer to the appendix, and you can cut and paste all your data into the appendix. Or if the files become too big, you can separate it out and say please look at my data alpha file for the 5 reports, and then list the 5 or 6 reports, or however much reports you want to include, 7 reports into this file. You don't necessarily have to do what she did. You can take liberty of saying these are the 5 reports, please see the attached file. Then I want you to answer these questions, and the questions that I want you to answer is, what diet changes would I improve in your nutrition? Now this is basically an analysis question that's asking Well, looking at all the data that I've found, how can I improve myself? What am I needing to improve? What am I okay with? And make sure that you compare yourself to what the literature says, what is the recommendations. For example, this student did a nice job by saying I only consume 24% of the milk products in the report. And using the grams of grain, for example, make sure you use the numbers to support what you need. Now, I think she could have done more in terms of using the data, but she started the thing off right. Here, the next question you should be answering is what recommendations do you have for yourself in terms of the physical activity. Please talk in terms of what is actionable. Duration, about 30 minutes, she includes in here. Also, what I liked about it is she included what the reports and the data analysis was saying and comparing that with what she found to be part of the recommendations in terms of guidelines for exercise. And the last part is provide a general summary. Again, pull up the numbers, but be a little bit more general than you were in the previous two sections. And this section, in my opinion, could have been expanded to talk about more about the vitamin levels and how there was a lack of vitamin levels. Vitamin D was low, and etc. like that. In conclusions, you should be talking about from the literature what you learned and how that compares to the diet that you saw before you from the reports. And after that section, you should have at least 5 to 10 references from various sources besides the textbook. The textbook could be one, but I want 5 sources outside of the textbook that you used to support your statements in the introduction and in your conclusions. Hope that helps, and let me know if you have any questions about the diet analysis, and include the reports in a separate file, in a PDF file, or in a Word file, or as an appendix. And again, please do not hesitate to email me with any questions. I'm here to help you. Thanks.